you just look at me.
All right.
Hey, folks, we are here at the Crime Prevention Association of Michigan Conference for Session 2 for Day 2, which is our first full official day of presentations. And today we're with Chris McKenna with Protect Young Eyes. If you have not been involved with cybersecurity and listening as a parent, as a school, as an educator, but all of us from the faith community for every avenue, we need to learn this information. Chris has a wealth of information that he's provided with our crime prevention practitioners from throughout the state of Michigan who are here today that we're bringing back to our communities. And I'm sure, Chris, you're going to get a lot of requests for more workshops. Here's what I'd like for you to do for us, as we talk with our community members,
Sure.
department heads, school personnel, but most of all parents.
Yep.
You talked specifically to us over this last couple of hours about some things, and the inverted triangle.
Yeah. The inverted responsibility
triangle.
Right.
Give me a brief of what that means.
That means that we have placed all of the burden of using technology well on those who have the least ability to impact and influence that technology. Meaning, we've said to parents and kids, figure it out. Mm-hmm. Because we have laws that are inadequate, and we have technology organizations with impossible wealth and ability who are not stewarding that in a way which prioritizes the safety and protection of kids. So we've delegated all of the safety and all of the use it well to the kids and to parents to figure it out. And that's just not the right spot. So we've got to flip that around, right? We got to get the base of big tech getting this right. We've got to get laws in place that are up to date, that are not 20 years old, protecting our kids, so that we get that triangle flipped.
And when you talked about developmentally, for us as we kind of did the deep dive today to talk about children, to talk about parents, talk about the way the brain is developing to this much consumption, and some of it's just way too much for a young mind.
Right.
How important is it that we help parents understand the dynamic? You put this powerful tool in their hands and they're not ready for it, the impact that it might have. And unfortunately, because of the pandemic, we had to go virtual, which meant every student was given a device.
Right.
How scary was that for you and what you do when that happened?
Yeah, so in the very moment that parents needed me the most, COVID prevented me from getting to them the most. And that was tough. And so back to the brain though for just a minute, right? Kids do certain things online, and I want us to understand that that's not always their fault. And what do I mean by that? Do we need consequences when kids do bad things? Yes, consequences are necessary. But when we understand more about the developing brain, then we understand that when good kids make bad choices in apps that are wildly intelligent, we should have empathy instead of judgment for that kid. I think one of the lines I used in the talk is that when I see a kid who is hopelessly hooked on a video game or a kid who can't put TikTok down, to me, that is a perfectly predictable response to a perfectly tuned machine. And that's a brain that doesn't have all the executive functioning to be able to stop, to say, wait, this isn't good for me. They don't have all of those parts of their brain plugged in yet, like you and I do, to go, I should probably put this down. They can't. It's all go and no slow, right?
Yeah.
And so when we understand that that's how their brain is, I just think we approach their choices online with a lot more empathy. And that's important, whether in our professional role or our personal role. If we can go, oh, I get it a little bit better because I get you a little bit better, then I think we're going to build trust with kids and be able to have more opportunity to help them.
Yeah, there were several different highlighted points of this presentation you did for us that stood out for me, and one of the 5 layers of digital protection.
Yeah.
Just briefly go through that,
Sure.
because we're going to put your website at protectyoungeyes.com. We're going to put all that information up so that parents can get access to the website.
Great.
The QR code that they can link up and see when they go to the site to get information and the links. But talk about those layers of protection. What does that mean?
So multiple layers are necessary because digital doorways are everywhere, right? There's a ubiquity to getting online that means that just when we think we've got their phone controlled or our home controlled, then they're in the back of a friend's SUV going somewhere for yogurt, and now there's an iPad that we have no control over.
Yeah.
Okay, so it starts with relationships. We can talk about kind of layers. The most important one is relationships, that our kids know we're beyond any doubt that no matter what they experience or see online, that they can land safely and softly with us. That's so critical. Start from a very young age to give them that open door to us from anything that will never freak out when they come to us with a digital issue. So relationship, the next one is location. So we go from relational to locational. That using tech in certain places increases the risk. If I'm alone in my bedroom, that increases the risk that I might do something online I shouldn't. Then we get the home network. That's layer 3, that Wi-Fi layer. The digital device that is most important for our digital parenting is the router.
Yes.
Right? Hug the router. We ignore it, but no, hug the router. Get a good one, and we recommend Griffin. Next is you want to have software that can help because it's not always connected to the router. You could be on data, so get something like Covenant Eyes or Bark or some parental control software. And then after that, are there controls inside of the apps? Can we toggle on restricted mode in YouTube or whatever that might be? Those are important things, right? And here's our technology, getting to us anytime, anywhere.
Anytime, anywhere.
And so those layers we build on top of each other, from strongest to weakest, but together to form that really great protection between our young people and some of those digital places we don't want them to be.
And speaking of that, because these 3 have been in the news lately based on the whistleblower and Facebook, but Snapchat, TikTok, Instagram, the concerns that not only the legislative bodies are looking at, but also what parents need to know about what we're discovering now that these reports have come out about what the companies knew and how important this is. And you recommended for all of us as well as parents, go find the reports. And the Wall Street Journal was the first, New York Times.
Like 200 pages of internal documents, read them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Don't, if you have different skepticisms or uncertainties about what, Ms. Haugen's intentions are, great. Set those aside. Go read it yourself, and then take your child, what you know about him or her, his or her strengths and vulnerabilities, and then put them inside of that body of evidence and look at it. To me, everything, it's a risk-reward sort of situation, right? Yeah. I know my kid. I know what their vulnerabilities are. If I understand the risks of these applications, then I can look for ways to mitigate harm to my child. If I have a kid who is susceptible to screen time addiction or gaming addiction, then I need to treat that child differently, because parents will tell me all the time, this one struggles and this one doesn't, right? So we need to individualize. Why? Based on what I know about the game or the app and what I know about my kid, it's about managing that risk. And I think those internal documents peel back the curtain, peel that onion a little bit more to show us things that we didn't even know was possible inside of these apps when you drop certain kids inside of them.
Yeah, the data analysis is absolutely amazing. And as a crime prevention practitioner for many years, we've looked at behind the scenes, things as we talk to parents in neighborhood watch groups, in schools, in doing presentations, that this is not just a place they go to, but they're collecting data about you. They're sending you other places, and they send you more of what they think you might be interested in. You coined a phrase to me that I thought was probably the most interesting regarding what we dealt with during the pandemic, and that toxic trio.
The toxic trio.
That was important for the aftermath of what happened for those students who had to be on screen time. Talk to us a little bit and explain what that means.
Sure. That goes back to risk. So whenever you have internet access with 3 different things, it creates a risky situation. Those 3 things are bedrooms, darkness, and boredom. Whenever I'm online, and I would argue whether I'm 14 or 40, if I'm online and I have a bedroom, darkness, and boredom, and that's where I'm doing it, it's a locational layer in the layers there that we avoid, and I just think we put ourselves in a risky spot. You can rationalize anything in your bedroom at 11 o'clock at night if you're bored. And that's not just a kid problem. And let's look in the mirror a little bit, and let's just say I probably should be careful there too, right?
And that's the thing, particularly because not only do I study and have to navigate the web for what I do for our department, but it's also the global perspective around everything that I'm seeing. How do I compartmentalize it? How do I put it in a box and put it over here saying, maybe I need to come back to that, so that not only do I understand it, and as we were talking earlier, one of the sites, and I did forward an email to you, of the site called Center for Digital educational technology.
Yeah, I'm gonna
And
check
it's-
that
And
out.
it is
Yeah.
a cybersecurity K through 12, and all of the things that school districts around the country
Awesome.
are doing to deal not only with ransomware, but also how do we help our students who we now have to engage them in
That's
this
great.
virtual world.
Yeah.
We have, as a Crime Prevention Association of Michigan, been so appreciative of your openness for your background, how you got to where you are today,
Yeah, thank you.
and the things that have been important, and your faith with being part of as a father and family, how important that is with your global message. Because people will always look at you, he's saying one thing, doing something else, but you're open about everything that's from your past to where you are today. And we are appreciative, not only as we look at the things that we deal with parents who ask, what do you do? When we talked about this a little bit, you got this legislation, but it doesn't work. School resource officers, parents are coming and saying, hey, do something about this, but not my child.
Yeah, yeah.
We're all struggling with that. But this information, what we heard today, not only do we consume it, but the questions and the comments from this session were on point.
Yeah.
With the frustrations and the big picture.
Yeah.
That this is way beyond all of us, and it really comes back to the home. Parents buy these devices.
That's right.
They have them in their homes.
Yeah.
And it's so important for parents to be able to be educated and engaged without, you're threatening me and I can't do this and my child will go blink and if I take it from him, well, you're paying the bill.
Yeah.
You know, have that engagement, but also have that ability to engage and not be critical, but to be this part about the caring. In closing for us,
Yeah.
you know, the things that your organization, protectyoungeyes.com,
Mhm.
how can we reach you? How can parents find out
Sure.
about the resources that you shared with us today?
Yeah.
What are those resources?
Website, obviously, very active on social media. Even though there's things about social media I can't stand, I'm going to use it for good.
Sure,
So
sure.
visit us at Protect Young Eyes.
Yeah.
We have a newsletter we send out fairly regularly that you can text the word protect, PROTECT, to the number 66866. Really easy, 66866. And that'll automatically, with your email address, enroll you into that newsletter. We also have a resource that we built during the pandemic to get to parents in a more scalable way. We built the Protect app. That's ours. You can find it in the Apple App Store or Google Play. Just search for the Protect app or Protect Young Eyes. And that's a free app to download that has some premium features inside of it that for $4 a month, basically a parent can have everything that we know. It's a pretty sweet deal,
Yeah,
right,
yeah,
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So those are some ways that they can get in touch. We can be brought into communities. I was in California yesterday doing a
Traveling,
talk, right?
man, yes, you are. Yes, you are. And every day, there's something new to learn about.
Yeah, so we want to bear that burden for parents to stay up to date. We stay up to date, but if you stay connected, we'll carry that burden for parents, and that's what we want to do. So,
Well, Chris, on behalf of the Crime Prevention Association of Michigan and all of our members, not only who were here at the conference, but those who will see this in our CPAN blog, we thank you once again for this tremendous amount of information. And we were here 2 years ago in the Traverse City area when you did the presentation. It's the cycle of how much and how fast this is changing is absolutely amazing. But you brought it to us in a way that we can digest it, we can take it back to our communities,
Yeah,
we
good.
can take it with our school resource office, neighborhood watch groups, our faith communities. Those who need to know will know about ProtectYoungEyes.com.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Again, thank you so much, my friend. Be well.
Take care.